I stared at my reflection in the mirrored elevator walls, adjusting the $80 blazer I'd grabbed from a clearance rack at Macy's. In just a few minutes, I'd be sitting through another unbearable family dinner, nodding politely while my siblings flaunted their latest accomplishments, oblivious to everything they didn't know. The elevator chimed, opening to the rooftop lounge of the Chesby Club, Baltimore's elite members-only restaurant. There they were, the Langstons, my family, known for their real estate dynasty and their habit of confusing wealth with worth. "Well, look who finally showed," my older sister Rachel called out, brushing imaginary lint from her Hermes blazer. "Had to squeeze us in between shifts at that little office of yours?" I slid into the empty seat beside my father, ignoring his disapproving glance at my worn shoes. "Sorry, late day," I murmured. "Had to wrap a few things at work." "You're still at that admin job, right?" My younger brother Connor smirked, flipping his Rolex. "Invoices, filing, whatever it is you do." "Something like that," I said flatly. "My real job, CEO of Halcyon Ventures, but they didn't need to know that. Not yet." My father sighed, one of those well-rehearsed ones. "Elena, you're 34. When will you stop wasting your potential? Rachel's overseeing our Florida expansion. Connor just locked in a $10 million deal. And I'm keeping the lights on," I said with a polite smile. Rachel beamed. "You'll love tomorrow's news. Langston Properties is partnering with Bell Capital. Their CEO is flying in to sign the deal. $40 million. Can you believe it?" I sipped my sparkling water slowly, hiding the twitch in my smile. "Bell Capital, my company. We've worked for months on this," Connor added proudly. "They're sending someone named, what was it, Elena Blackwood?" He chuckled. "Never heard of her. Probably someone riding on connections." Rachel smirked. I held their gaze evenly. "You'll get to meet her tomorrow." They laughed, clinked glasses, and talked about legacy. Meanwhile, I mentally reviewed the agenda for tomorrow's meeting, the one where they'd be begging for my signature. They called me the black sheep. They still do. But after tomorrow, they'll call me boss. I saw opportunities they were too entitled to notice. Back when I worked at Orion Data Systems, the startup was collapsing. Brilliant AI tech, but terrible finances. So I quietly used my modest savings and insider knowledge to acquire a controlling stake. The founders were relieved. They just wanted to code. I let them. In 2 years, Orion became Bellrest Capital, one of the top private equity firms in North America. No one ever knew I was behind it. Everything was shielded through holding companies and anonymous trusts. Board meetings attended via secure video feeds. Voice masked by software. While Rachel and Connor flaunted wealth on social media, I built an empire. Bellrest now holds equity in over 60 companies. Several have outbid Langston Properties on major deals. I never upgraded my life, still lived in my 2-bedroom walk-up in Mount Vernon, still drove the same college Honda Civic. Because success doesn't need to be loud. The waiter refilled our drinks. My mother jumped to her favorite topic, my single status. "You know, Elena, if you just tried a little, got your hair done, wore something not from the clearance rack, you might attract someone worthwhile." Rachel smirked. "James and I are hosting a gala for the Children's Trust next month, $3,000 a plate. But don't worry, Elena, we won't make you feel out of place." Connor chuckled. I thought about the invitation sitting on my desk, addressed to the CEO of Bellrest. They were practically begging me to attend. "I'm not unhappy," I said calmly, cutting into my steak. "Success doesn't look the same for everyone." My father scoffed. "That's what failures say to feel better." Then Rachel lit up. "Oh, remember that tiny tech firm you worked for? Guess who bought them? Bellrest Capital." Connor laughed. "If only you'd stayed, Elena. You could have been part of something big for once." I dabbed my lips with my napkin, suppressing a grin. "Yes, imagine that." My mother leaned in. "Their CEO is brilliant, ruthless, private, the kind of success you'll never be." I raised my glass. "Here's to surprises." "The CEO of Bellrest is coming to the contract signing tomorrow," Rachel announced like royalty. "They're extremely selective. Clearly they know the Langston name carries weight." "Clearly," I murmured, checking my phone. An urgent email from my CFO, another acquisition, a 9-figure merger. The kind of move Rachel couldn't even dream of. Put that away, my mother snapped. It's not like anything important is coming through. If only she knew. But I just nodded. Dinner went on as usual. Connor bragged, Rachel gushed, my parents beamed, and I was the quiet disappointment. Tomorrow would speak for itself. The signing was set for 10 a.m. sharp. Rachel had chased this deal for a year, never realizing she'd been negotiating with me. As dinner ended, Rachel leaned in. Don't worry, Elena. Maybe one day you'll get to vacation at one of my resorts. I'll even let you use the family discount. I smiled, thinking of my private cliffside mansion in Big Sur. Paid in cash, never rented. That's generous of you, Rachel. Connor tossed down his black American Express. Next round's at my new penthouse, he grinned. Though fair warning, it might make some of us feel underdressed. I stood, grabbing my well-worn tote bag. Good luck tomorrow. I hope everything goes just as planned. Rachel smirked. Some of us can handle real business. Just make sure your little office gig doesn't make you late. I walked past their luxury cars toward my Civic. Tomorrow, I'd pull up in my Rolls-Royce Phantom. Tomorrow, they'd learn the truth. That night, I returned to my apartment, powered up my secure workstation, closed another deal, because real power doesn't announce itself. It builds, quietly, relentlessly, and when the time is right, it walks into the boardroom as the boss. Don't miss what happens next. The next morning, I stood in front of my full-length mirror, adjusting the cufflinks on my tailored white blazer. Simple, powerful, unmistakably expensive. No labels, no logos. Just quiet precision. I stepped into the lobby of Bellrest's downtown office. Our receptionist, Cara, smiled brightly. Morning, Ms. Blackwood. The Langstons just arrived. Conference room B. Thank you, I said. I took the elevator up to the 32nd floor, the executive level, a place reserved for deal makers. I passed glass walls lined with awards and billion-dollar projections, each step echoed with intent. I paused outside the conference room. Inside, Rachel stood near the head of the table, presenting a slideshow. Connor lounged by the coffee cart, scrolling on his phone. My parents weren't there yet. Good morning, I said, stepping in. Rachel turned, eyes widening. Eleanor, what are you doing here? I'm here for the meeting. She looked confused. With Bellrest? I nodded. Connor frowned. Are you shadowing someone from admin? Or, wait, taking notes? I smiled. Number I called the meeting. Before they could respond, my executive team entered. Maria, our head of strategy, Jamal, our CFO, and Edward, our legal counsel. Rachel's eyes darted between them. Wait, why are they here? Maria extended a hand. Ms. Blackwood, we're ready to begin when you are. Rachel froze. Ms. Blackwood? I walked calmly to the head of the table, opened my Bellrest folder, and sat down. Connor's voice cracked. You're Elena Blackwood? I nodded. For the last 4 years. Rachel sank into her chair. You can't be serious. This is some kind of prank, right? I looked her in the eye. You've been negotiating with me this whole time. Every email, every term sheet, every red line contract, that was me. Connor's face was pale. You said you worked in admin. I never said that, I replied. You assumed, Rachel stammered. But why wouldn't you just tell us? I closed the file. Because power doesn't need to explain itself. I built Bellrest from nothing. I turned bankrupt startups into billion-dollar machines. And I did it all while you laughed at my clearance rack blazer. My voice was calm even. This deal is still on the table. But the terms have changed. Rachel's jaw clenched. What are you saying? I'm saying Langston Properties will receive a minority stake in the joint venture. Bellrest will lead development, funding, and branding. You'll operate under our name. Connor exploded. You're cutting us out of our own project. No, I replied. I'm giving you a lifeline. Without us, your Florida expansion fails. The silence was heavy. Rachel finally whispered, You really built all of this? I leaned back in my chair. While you were buying handbags, I was buying companies. Just then, the door opened. Our assistant announced, Mr. and Mrs. Langston have arrived. My parents walked in, smiling, until they saw me at the head of the table. What is going on? My father asked sharply. Rachel stood quickly. Dad, this is... Elena, She's the CEO of Bellrest. My mother blinked. But you said she worked in admin. She let us believe that, Connor muttered. My father stared at me, stunned. You built this company, I nodded, and I'm giving you one chance to partner, because I still believe in family, even if you never believed in me. Silence. Then my mother's voice broke the air. We're proud of you. For the first time in years, it sounded honest. I rose from my seat. You have the revised contracts. I'll give you 48 hours to sign. I turned and walked out, each step lighter than the one before. Down the elevator, past the marble lobby, out into the bright morning air. No more pretending, no more hiding. For years, I let them see what they wanted to see, because I didn't need validation. I needed victory, and now I had it. I was Elena Blackwood, the black sheep, the underdog, the invisible threat. Until the day I wasn't. Because real power, it doesn't shout. It signs the check, it owns the room, and it walks away, quietly undefeated. If you like this story, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and share it with family and friends. Thank you.